Page 5. Page 6. Page 7. Yes, Honorable Member for South Dye.
Speaker, thank you very much. Speaker, item number 4, page 7, sub 1. The Honorable Frederick Yawahinkwa. Speaker, he was in the house yesterday. I engaged with him.
Is it what page?
Item number 4.1 on page 7.
Yes.
The Honorable Member Frederick Yawahinkwa, member for German North. He was in the house yesterday. I engaged with him. So I'm sure his name being listed as those absent was some inadvertence. Table should take.
Very well. Thank you very much. Table, kindly take note of it. Yes, my brother.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On the same page, I am marked absent. I was in the house yesterday.
You were in the house?
Yes.
Did you register your name?
I think
Did you?
I think I did.
You think?
Yes.
You cannot be sure of that.
Well, the time I came in, proceedings were ongoing, so...
No, I'm not doubting that he was here. But like we've always been admonished that when you come, do well to register your name. That's the only way we can say you were here or you're not here.
I am guarded, Mr. Speaker.
So, table, kindly take note of that. Let's turn to page 8. Page 9. Page 10. Page number 11. Yes, Honorable Majority Chief Whip.
Speaker, thank you very much. Speaker, regarding the referral of the instrument that was laid yesterday, the Environmental Protection into bracket Mining in Forest Reserves Amendment Regulation 2025. I pleaded for the leadership of Lands and Natural Resources Committee, as well as the Committee on Environment. Speaker, if you recall, this is an instrument that the Ministry of Environment actually was the ministry that brought the instrument the last time. So somehow they are not captured in capturing the leadership of the environment and the environment committee to also join.
I think the records indicate that only the leadership of Lands and Natural Resources Committee were asked to be part of the committee. If you are not bringing this one up, that's another thing. But the records indicate, and that's what the table has confirmed, that only the leadership of Lands and Natural Resources Committee were asked to.
Speaker, I added perhaps if it was not captured, then that's fine. But I made a prayer, so I recall that the leadership of Lands and Natural Resources and Environment, I added Environment. So it can be captured now, Speaker.
Well, I don't know. Minority leadership?
Mr. Speaker, we don't have any difficulty with that.
Well, if that is what the leadership deems fit, table, let's add those committee leadership to the group.
Speaker, thank you very much.
So we turn to page 12. Yes, Honorable Professor Nyako. I like your outfit.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, a minor correction on page 12 under opening, the first line. The committee met on Tuesday, 18th March 2024. It should be 2025. Thank you, Mr. Manowan.
Thank you. Table, acknowledge that correction. Yes, Upper Danger West.
Yes, sorry, Speaker. I'm sorry to take you back to page 8.
Yes.
Page 8, 6, item 6, III. The name Jumper was spelled Jyampa. It should be Jyampah. The H was omitted.
Very well.
Thank you.
So, table, can they take note? That is his name. That's the way it's spelled. So, add the H to it. Thank you, Honorable Member. We turn to page 13. Yes, Professor Nyako.
Speaker, the same correction that I made on page 12, page 13, under Committee on Lands and Natural Resources. Committee met on Tuesday, 18th March 2025, not 2024. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, my brother, you did the same correction. Very well. Thank you. We move to page 14. My brother, can you put up the mic? Yes, okay. Page 14, yes.
Speaker, on page 12, if I may take you back, regarding the order of the Honorable Member called Honorable Duke William Allen Kwame Amuakwanta Oforiata. Speaker, if you reference page 5, item number 199, there is an established order and how hyphenated some of the names are in respect of his name. So you see that Amuakwanta is also hyphenated, and then Oforiata is also hyphenated. So if we can just have an established order of writing the names. Those of us who have long names.
Very well. But I think the Honorable Member himself is not here. He will have helped us to know the arrangement very well.
No, Speaker, all I'm saying is that when you go to item number 199.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yes, there's a certain order that we write it. Then the way it's written and the members who were present and attending upon the committee's work. So if table office can just take cognizance of how it is written. And
no, I am with you, but it could be that the latter is the right arrangement. So that's why I just wanted to refer it to the member himself.
Very well.
So if he gives us the right arrangement, then we can follow that.
Speaker, just for guidance, under the supplement is always information brought by clerks from committees work to table office for purposes of the records. But under item number 2 is the established way of writing the names in the House.
Well, I share with you, but I still want
him to clarify.
Yes, give the clarity to
Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Professor Nyako.
Speaker, I think I seem to agree with you. The person should be asked to confirm. Because I remember I raised similar issue about Honorable Muntaka, but it was observed that one of them was right, one was wrong. So if he's here, he can confirm the appropriate name. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Honorable Confordoyo.
Mr. Speaker, Engineer Yao Gomedo was in the House yesterday and it was marked absent.
Page 7.
Yeah, Gomedo engineer, page 7.
Which page are you?
Page 7.
Item number.
Page 7.
Item number 46. Engineer Gomedo was here yesterday, and he has been marked absent.
Very well. Table. So the same admonition.
Ofosu Kwachitu was here yesterday. He sat behind us yesterday.
Was Ofosu Kwachi here yesterday?
Yes.
He was here, Mr. Speaker.
I saw him last.
Yesterday he was here. He was
Yesterday was
behind
here.
us. Yeah.
Patrick, you confirm that? Patrick. Honorable Patrick Bama, you confirm that?
Mr. Speaker, I'm not in a position to confirm or deny, but I saw him a couple of days here when he came to debate. But yesterday, I can't confirm. Probably I was in a committee meeting. I'm told he was here.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Told he was here.
Mr. Speaker, your admonition is spot on. I think what honorable members must do is that when they walk into the chamber, the first point of call should be at the table. That's what I do since I've been here. Every time I walk to the chamber, I go there to put down my name. But if you're always expecting them to bring them here, they might forget. So I want to plead with all of us that let us, be conscious about putting our names down because of the sign orders. If you go beyond 16, you are in trouble. So it's our personal responsibility to ensure that it is done. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Nyako. Meanwhile, table, please kindly take note of those corrections. But it's just an admonition to all of us. When you come, the first thing you have to do is to register. Until you do the full-fledged electronic registration, let's please resort to this manual registration, please. Yes, Honorable Comforter.
Mr. Speaker, the same page 7, item 4.5. Honorable Samnati George seek permission, so it should be marked absent with permission. 4.5 and 4.8. 4.5 and 4.8. And Nawani also filled the form of absence and was sent to your good office. Samnati George to the same thing.
Yes, Honorable Comforter, table, check the records. Check the records. If indeed the records indicate that they took permission, please act accordingly on that. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, this exercise of the front bench of the majority trying to say that the following members, that's Sam George and the rest, had filled a permission form. It is not a guarantee of absent with permission. They know the rule. Mere filling of the form and giving it to your leadership does not qualify the member to be marked absent with permission. There is a proper procedure that will lead to somebody being captured with a member being captured with absent with permission. From that, the leadership need to follow it to the appropriate speaker who have to approve it and ensure it's approved before the member leave. So I think it is properly captured, because until we have an approval of absent with permission, it cannot be captured that they are absent with permission. That is not the procedure.
Well,
to our rules. So we should not just entertain. We shouldn't just entertain as if the filling of the form and giving it to your leadership is already a guarantee of permission. The speaker can elect not to grant your permission, your absent.
Honorable Habib, I am with you. That is why I gave the directive that they should check the records. If the records indicate that they took permission, there's no problem. They will correct the records. But I want to place it on record that I am responsible for that. And because I know the implications of it, I don't let that thing lie on my table even for an hour. Once I see any leave of absence, I quickly work on it. So if indeed it came to mean then I can assure you that I worked on it. So table, as I said, just check the records. If indeed the permission was taken, please accordingly do the needful. Yes, Majority Chief Whip.
Speaker, thank you. Mr. Speaker, the First Deputy Minority Whip has a right to comment on matters when the House is engaged with. But the penchant for taking a dig at us, the front bench, has to stop. No, please. We are, when you get there, you say we are brothers. But you don't do things as if we are brothers. The First Deputy Whip, Majority Whip, is only drawing attention that this is the records. So, Speaker appropriately directed that table office should reconcile the records, then appropriate thing be done. How does this become a conduct on behalf of the majority bench? How do you take the whole majority bench to task, my brother? So, he is in a litigious mood this morning. I don't know why. So, he should disengage and let's do business in a very friendly and you see, Deputy Minority Leader is smiling at me. That's how it's supposed to be. Speaker, let's make progress. I thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Honorable, let's forge we are on page 13. Let's turn to page 14. Page 15. Page number 16. Page number 17. Page 18. Yes, Professor Nyako.
Madam Speaker, on page 17 under Committee on Education, item 1, opening, the second line. Let me start from the first sentence. The committee met on Wednesday, 19th March 2025 at 10:40 a.m. and held discussion with members of the National Education Forum Committee. I will suggest that we make a held discussion with the National Education Forum Committee or members of the National Education Forum. So discussion with members of the National Education Forum, then it ends. I think that will be...
should end without the committee.
Sorry?
It should end with forum without the committee.
Yes, members of the National Education Forum. Yeah,
Thank
because
you.
I was at the meeting and I know how they are.
Now we are going to Gamma, eh? Yes.
No, if you no, please. If you go to page number 18, look at how the designations are referred to. For example, Professor George Toku Odro, Chairman, National Education Forum. But you come to page 17, you carry with members of the National Education Forum Committee. All I'm saying that it should be members of the National Education Forum without the committee, because the committee met the Education Committee, and I was there. If you make it the way it is written, members of the National Education Forum Committee, it's members of the forum. Okay, met the forum or members of the committee. It ends there, simple.
Thank you. Yes. My brother, yes. Let me hear you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, it is not the entirety of the members of the National Education Forum, but rather it is the committee, the forum's committee, that came and briefed the Education Committee. So if we are eliminating their committee, I'm not sure we'll be giving them the right description.
Speaker, when the committee met us, on the notice that the clerk put on the platform, it was meeting with the National Education Forum. The forum is a committee. The forum is a committee. I'm saying that I can read what the committee clerks put on the platform. It is the National Education Forum, not the National Education Forum Committee. Those who appear before us, they are members of the forum.
Very well.
That is it. That is my understanding of it. Thank you.
Yes, I'll share with you. Dr. Apak, Deputy Minister for Education, let's hear you.
Grateful, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I believe we can accommodate the rendition ably proposed by Dr. Professor Nyako, because the forum is a unit, and whether there is a subcommittee or not, the forum is what we ought to accept. Nobody.
Very well. I think we don't need to split our hairs on this. You still want to work on.
Speaker, these are matters of records, appropriate records. So all that the House is interested in is capturing the appropriate records.
Yes.
It appears that even the members of the committee are at some form of disagreement. So if the clerk could just furnish the table of his exactly who the nature of the entity that appeared before them to be captured. So Speaker will direct appropriately. So we will progress on this matter.
Very good friend and leader. If you go to page 18, that are reference, it is National Education Forum. It is there. Black and white, not white and yellow.
Speaker, let me say this. You are repeating the same thing. You are insisting on your point. Another member of the committee is saying, yes, it was the forum that came, but it was a subcommittee of the forum, not the entire forum. May be constituted of very large numbers.
Very well.
So we are just saying that let's make progress.
So table, kindly check.
Yes. So
kindly check with the clerk of the committee.
That's all.
And let's have the right rendition. So table, check with the clerk of the committee so that I can have the right rendition of it. Return to page 18.
Mr. Speaker, page 18, item number 3. Mr. Speaker, just for your guidance, I see Professor Rosemary Seiwa Bonsu, or Bosu. I'm not sure, maybe it should be Professor Rosemary Seiwa Bonsu or Bosu. Maybe table of it could confirm to see if that is the proper rendition that should be given.
Thank you. This is a name, so table check with the clerk if it is the right name. So return to page 19. Page 20. And finally, page 21. Honorable members, in the absence of any further corrections, the votes and proceedings of Thursday, the 20th of March 2025 is hereby adopted as a true record of proceedings. Honorable members, I have in my hands the 11th March 2025 edition of the official report. 11th March 2025 edition of the official report. Yes, Professor Kinsenyako.
Mr. Speaker, on column 4, the third paragraph, Mr. Suleimana. Mr. Speaker, it is back on. Then the Speaker comes in. Honour Member, are you sure? Then the next paragraph, Mr. Hassan Tampuli Suleimana. So I'm wondering, the first, Mr. Suleimana, should reflect the second, Mr. Hassan Tampuli Suleimana. Because I was here on that day when he said it is back on. So Mr. Suleimana is the same Mr. Hassan Tampuli Suleimana. So either one can be.
So are you trying to find out whether there's a different person called Suleimana?
It's the same person.
It's the same person.
Tampuli.
You are sure of that?
Yes, I was here on that day. But table office can check and be
Yes.
sure if there's another Suleimana.
Very well.
Then the same column, the last paragraph. Yes, honorable member for Afajato South. When we come to column 5, the name there is Mr. Frank Afriye. The same. Okay, so Mr. Frank Afriye is the same honorable. So I get it right now. So it's okay. Then you come to column 8. Column 8, under Kingsley Nyako. Mr. Speaker, there are some minor corrections on Constitution 79. So there's an omission of R. So, Mr. Speaker, there are some minor corrections. So that omission should be rightfully inserted. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Table, kindly acknowledge those corrections. Yes, honorable member for Afajato South.
Speaker, let me thank you so much. Same column 4, the very first paragraph, line 2. What I did say was that my mic was not working that day, but it's captured here that, if you allow me, Mr. Speaker, my microphone is working, so the word not has been omitted. And then I prayed that the table office take note of that.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's true. Table, take note of that. Yes, Prof.
Column 10, under Mr. Blackwell. Mr. Speaker, my contribution to the tribute to D. Osajofo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, I think that the D is not necessary. It should be the tribute to Osajofo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah on Nkrumah 44. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, my brother, are you up on your feet? Very well. So, honorable members, in the absence of any further corrections, the official report of 11th March 2025 is accordingly adopted as a true record of proceedings. We move to item 6, business statement for the 11th ensuing week. But Honorable Deputy Majority Leader, before you take the podium, kindly indulge me to acknowledge our children at the public gallery. I look at where they are coming from. None of them is coming from Accra here. They are all coming from Menchia South, Upper Denchira West, Esikuma, Odoben, Brakwa, and Kwadaso. So they've come all the way from other regions. So kindly indulge me to acknowledge them. The first school is Sewa Nyako Girls SHS. Sewa Nyako Girls SHS. They are being led by Martin Opoku, who is a teacher, and the school is obviously located at Menchia South constituency. Menchia South constituency. Do you have the MP here? You what?
So, Speaker, respectfully, the MP just stepped out. So
you just stepped out?
Yeah, he just stepped out of the room. So he will be here very soon.
Very well. The second school is Fubinso DA Basic School. Fubinso DA Basic School. They are being led by Tete Azaya Nagete, who is the headmaster, and the school is located at Upper Denchira West constituency. Upper Denchira West constituency. I think we have the member of parliament here. Yes. I hope you take care of them.
Speaker Audu.
Very well. The next school is Blackwa Catholic Basic School. Blackwa Catholic Basic School. They are being led by Desmond Kweku Isuom. What? His son, who is a teacher, and the school is located at Esikuma Odobing Braka. Esikuma Odobing Braka. Is it the finance minister's constituency? Dancer, yes. Where is he? Yes, Honorable Gansa. Have you seen your people? Yes. I hope you take care of them. Then the last school is Almighty Prempe College. It's Almighty Prempe College. They are being led by Raymond Afari, who is a teacher, and the school is located at Kwadaso constituency. Kwadaso constituency. Professor Nyako, Prempe College.
The Speaker, you know, I took leave of absence because I'm not well. Well, when I heard
it's Bantama.
No, it's Kwadaso. It is Almighty Kwadaso, not Bantama.
It's Almighty
Kwadaso. So for life. Prempe College is one of the best schools in this country.
Thank you.
One of the best.
We are not going there. We are not going to that argument.
Even though in my heart is Opokuwari. But Prempe College is one of the best. And that one has to be on records. Is that part of Obama?
Yes. You wanted to speak. What is he what?
What is Professor Nyako talking about?
What did he say?
Opokuwari school in his heart is better than Prempe College. What is he talking about? I'm really amazed.
Please, this particular argument, I cannot. Member for no. What do you want to say?
Mr. Speaker, this is the House of Records. I don't want troubles. I didn't say Opokuwari is better than Prempe. I didn't say that. No. He is putting words in my mouth. So please, for the records, I didn't say that. It's one of the best.
It's the best.
One of the best.
It's the best.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Thank you very much for indulging me. I share in what Professor Kingsley Nyako has just said. No. He said Prempe is one of the best schools, but in his heart, Opokuwari is the school of choice.
Bye-bye.
Mr. Speaker,
Sit down. Don't this discussion here.
No, Mr. Speaker.
We can contain it, please.
Opokuwari is the only school that after completion you are conferred with a title. Straight away, Okatechi.
Bye-bye.
You sit down.
Sit down.
You finish Omanfo. You see, when the Gongon Bitter goes out there, he says, Amanfo Katechi say to it, the people, the Oman says, Opokuwari is the only school that is endowed with that.
It's okay. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, let me thank you. Mr. Speaker,
You see, I completed Bole Secondary School.
That's all.
Bole Secondary School is a village school.
Yeah.
Bole Secondary School has produced 2 members of parliament. The honorable member for Kintampo North is here. Now, we are sitting here. We have the Deputy Bank of Ghana. We have the Deputy Bank of Ghana. The Deputy Bank of Ghana completed Bole Secondary School. Professor Ahmed Zakaria, National Ambulance, completed Bole Secondary School. Kintampo North is here. And so when you are talking about secondary schools and you are mentioning the private college, the Achimota, we completed Bole Secondary School, but we are here and we are competent. Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in this room, the best senior high school is the one that Mr. Speaker actually went to. It is on that reason that Mr. Speaker himself is the one presiding in this chamber today. Mr. Speaker, you went to St. Hubert Seminary. Why are you shying away from this? St. Hubert Seminary is one of the best schools in this country. It is on that basis that today you are the one presiding. And so, Mr. Speaker, I expect you to showcase your school. If you are not showcasing your school, who will showcase the Newberg Seminary? Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker,
we can't allow this to generate debate.
Mr. Speaker,
let me go to
why should I off my mouth? Mr. Speaker, I don't know why it's turning into a debate. I attended St. Francis Xavier Minor Seminary in Wa, and that is one of the best senior high schools you can find in the whole of Ghana. So let's stop the debate, because St. Francis Xavier Minor Seminary is among the best. Thank you very much.
Yeah, let me give the opportunity to the lady.
Mr. Speaker, if I don't speak today, then it means today we have to close. Bolgatanga Girls Secondary School is the best. Mr. Speaker, we have 2 MPs in the chamber. Honorable Teresa Ladi Awini and Honorable Eli Klim Akrugu. Bolgatanga Girls, we are representing, is the best, one of the best.
Mr. Speaker,
very well. Thank you, all of you. Thank you, all of you. We will have a session. We will have a session for this. But for now, please indulge me. I'm so grateful to you. So,
Mr. Speaker, you know why we are quiet. We know why some of us are quiet. Mr. Speaker, with all due respect, some of us are quiet because we find this to be child's play. In this chamber, the leader of the House, Honorable Mahama Yerga, comes from one of the best schools. And in this country, the President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, comes from that same school. And I'm talking about Ghana Secondary School in Tamale. And in this chamber alone, we have more than 15 old students from that school in this chamber. And that is the record that the school has set. So we are quiet and just allowing them to make the noise.
Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, please. Let's bring the curtains down on this. Let's bring the curtains down on this. I thank all of you. I think we will have special session for this. But for now,
Mr. Speaker.
Please.
Mr. Speaker, with respect, let's make progress. Let's make progress. And many of my colleagues who are talking about their secondary school, they are even backbenchers. So let's make progress. And then,
Thank you very much. So our children who have come all the way to witness what your representatives do, I hope you will be urged on to study hard study hard, so that tomorrow, when we are not here, you can also come and take over from us. So we wish you well. I believe the members of parliament will take care of you. You are most welcome. I think we also have a group of reverend ministers and pastors from the majority chief whip's constituency from South Dai, and they are being led by Reverend Stephen Gaitu. So, Reverend ministers, you are also welcome, and we thank you for coming. Honored members, we will now move to item 6, business statement for the ensuing 11th week. We will invite the Deputy Majority Leader to take us through.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is the business statement for the 11th week ending February the 28th of March 2025. Mr. Speaker, the committee met on Thursday the 20th of March 2025 and arranged business of the House for the 11th week ending Friday the 28th of March 2025. Mr. Speaker, the committee accordingly submit its report as follows. Mr. Speaker, I will start with the arrangement of business. Mr. Speaker, may read any available communication to the House. Mr. Speaker, in pursuant of Order 91-2 of our standing orders, ministers of state may be permitted to make statements on government policy. You may also admit statement by honorable members in accordance with Order 93. Mr. Speaker, in accordance with Order 195, bills may be presented to the House for first reading. However, those of urgent nature may be taken through various stages in a day in accordance with Order 160. Pursuant to Order 97, papers may be laid during the week and reports from the committees may also be presented to the House for consideration. Mr. Speaker, motions may be debated and their consequential resolutions, if any, taken during the week. Mr. Speaker, submission of annual budget statement. Mr. Speaker, the Business Committee urged the Ministry of Finance and other ministries and constitutional bodies who have still not yet submitted their annual budget estimate to Parliament to do so immediately to enable the House consider and approve the estimate on time. Mr. Speaker, committee report on annual budget estimate and related motions. Mr. Speaker, the Business Committee entreats the chairpersons or the chairpersons of committees to expedite work on the consideration of the annual budget estimate and timelessly report to the House to facilitate the passage of the Appropriation Bill 2025. Attached to the business statement is the proposed schedule for committee reporting and motions on the annual budget estimate. Mr. Speaker, the Business Committee again reminds all committee chairpersons that the House has only 5 sitting days from Monday the 24th to Friday the 28th, 2025, to transact business pending before the House prior to adjourning Senedine on Friday, 28th of March 2025. Sitting on Monday an extended sitting. Mr. Speaker, the Business Committee proposes extended sitting beyond the prescribed sitting hours in the ensuing week. This is to afford the House ample time to exhaust business, especially the passage of the appropriation bill scheduled for the 11th week. The Business Committee proposes that on Monday through to Wednesday, sitting of the House should commence at 12 noon. This is to allow committees to sit in the morning before plenary commences. Then on Thursday and Friday, sitting will commence at 10 a.m. to ensure the House considers all outstanding business before adjourning Senedine. But, Mr. Speaker, on Wednesday, the 26th of March 2025, there will be a committee of the whole. The Governor of the Bank of Ghana will come to brief the House on the circumstances leading to the collapse of the bank, of some banks and some financial institutions from 2013 to 2024. Mr. Speaker, to go back on a Tuesday, Mr. Speaker, the committee has also scheduled the Minister of Interior to come to the House and brief us on Tuesday, the 25th of March, 2025, on the circumstances leading to the raid of the residence of the former Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, on Wednesday, the 19th of March. Mr. Speaker, on the adjournment of the House, Mr. Speaker, as indicated earlier, the House is expected to adjourn Senedine on Friday, the 28th of March, 2025. In this regard, the Business Committee entreats all honorable members to continue to devote themselves to the scheduled business for the last week of the first meeting of the first session to enable the House to adjourn as proposed. The Business Committee takes this opportunity to sincerely commend your good self, your deputies, and all honorable members for the self-sacrifice and devotion to the business of the House throughout the first meeting. The Business Committee urges all honorable members to continue with the commitment until adjournment Senedine. The Business Committee wishes honorable members a happy Eid al-Fitr as they bring the hallowed Ramadan to a close, and also pray that Allah answers all our prayers. As we draw down the curtains on the first meeting, the committee also wishes all honorable members a restful Easter recess, hoping that we will all return in the best of health for the business of the second meeting. Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, in accordance with Order 2162, subject to Order 67, the committee submits to the House the order in which business of the House shall be taken during the week. Mr. Speaker, I ask the Housing Department to capture the business statement in its entirety. Mr. Speaker, I so submit. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Honourable members, the business statement for the ensuing week has been read to us by the Deputy Majority Leader. It is now before the House for consideration. Any member who has any comment this is the time. So let me open it up with the deputy minority whip.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on page 2 of the business statement, the Deputy Majority Leader said, Committee of the Whole, the Governor of Bank of Ghana to brief the House on the circumstances leading to the collapse of the banks and financial institutions from 2013 of the financial institution from 2013 to 2024. Mr. Speaker, I think the Deputy Leader needs to provide us at least the names of the banks. He said some banks. Because, Mr. Speaker, we are all aware that this House Parliament approved for the restructuring of the banks. Subsequently, there was a committee that was set up after a petition from Kobna Dufo. And many of these banks have cases in court. And if we are not careful and we are to entertain such in this House, we will actually be interfering in some work that the courts are doing. And I don't think that this House at the moment, we should be entertaining the Governor of Bank of Ghana coming to brief us on matters, settled matters that Parliament itself have reports on matters that are before the courts. That is why I'm saying that if he is saying that to brief the House on the circumstances leading to the collapse of the banks, in what you put in the business statement, there is nothing like some, unless my is different from what you have. Because you said the Governor of Bank of Ghana to brief the House on the circumstances leading to the collapse of the banks and other financial institutions from 2013 to 2024. So, Mr. Speaker, I think this part of the business statement is actually is completely unnecessary, and I don't think that we will need that, and it will be interfering in so many things. Mr. Speaker, also going through the business statement, I realized that we'll be sitting on Monday 24th. But what he failed to do is to, Deputy Leader, Standing Order 6, Decision Day. You need to make provisions for that. Because it is not everything on that budget document and the financial bills that you are presented that we are going to support. Some of them we are not in support of it, and we are not going to cooperate with you with regards to that. So there must be provisions for Decision Day. And if you look at Standing Order 6, it is clear there that you should make provisions for business statements. For instance, this your growth and sustainability levy. It is something we will not support. Definitely, you cannot be taxing people, excessive tax in the mining sector, which is the engine for growth, and you want us to support it. Definitely, there are some of the issues that we are definitely not going to support. And Mr. Speaker, the first issue that I raised, I know that the Majority Chief Whip is giving legal support to the Deputy Majority Leader. But the most important, you cannot provide us the name of the banks. You said some, even though it's not captured. It is not necessary for the governor to come here to brief us. What the governor should concentrate now is the monetary policy, where he, as the governor, need to be able to work to control the cedi to the dollar, which is about 16 cedi to the dollar today. That is the work of the governor of Bank of Ghana. But not to come and brief us on settled matters that we have settled. So, Mr. Speaker, the Deputy Majority Leader should be guided about that. Honorable Samsonahi, you are a fifth-time member of Parliament. You are not a backbencher. So the way you are talking, you are a Deputy Minister. So you should not be behaving like a backbencher. So, Mr. Speaker, these are the preliminary work that I have. Mr. Speaker, if my senior colleague is offended like behaving, it is duly withdrawn. Honorable Ahi, withdrawn.
Thank you very much. Let me give it to Honorable Sansahi.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I take offense of what you have said. Learn to respect your elders. Learn to respect your seniors. You can't talk anyhow.
Honorable Sansahi, kindly address the chair, please.
Yes, that I'm addressing you. I'm addressing you to ask the whip to learn to respect seniors. You are not a floor member. So any word coming from your mouth should be a word that brings the house together. It is becoming your behavior these days. Learn how to respect and behave well. Mr. Speaker, through you, ask you to behave. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I think I withdraw what I said to Honorable Ahi. And if you are offended, I had said that you are a senior member of this house and a fifth-time member of parliament. But when you are heckling and behaving like a backbencher, I must draw your attention to it. So it's duly withdrawn.
Thank you. He has withdrawn. That's the mark of a gentleman. He has withdrawn. That is a mark of a gentleman. Honorable member for Domekwadenya, is there any issue?
Mr. Speaker, Honorable Habib should withdraw what he just said. He said the honorable member is behaving like backbenchers. I want to ask him, how do backbenchers behave?
Honorable member, he has withdrawn.
So, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity. Speaker, the very topical matter of the Bank of Ghana governor coming to brief the House regarding the circumstances is so relevant. It's so relevant. Please. Honorable, for Techiman South, please, if you have a point, you know what to do. You are increasingly becoming a senior member. You are a second timer now. So I'll leave this matter in their hands. So, Mr. Speaker, in the House, that the governor comes to explain the circumstances, it does not detract from the fact that any party aggrieved by the decision of the state to liquidate those banks can go to court or not. It does not detract from the fact. What Parliament does is to look into or hear from the governor the circumstances. Very, very important. Speaker, especially because we were told the official documents available says that the cumulative value of the investments involved in this matter was in the region of 9 billion Ghana cedis. And yet the state spent in excess of 25 billion. This House wants to appreciate the circumstances. Again, men's gold customers who also fall into that category. Investment totaling in excess of 766 million Ghana cedis. It's not been touched. So we want to understand the circumstances. So this matter, it cuts across political coloration. So for the first deputy minority whip to suggest that it is not important, it is not relevant, it is the House that is making the call. So it should be patient for the governor to come and address us. Then matters arising could be commented upon. So with all due deference to him, he must allow us to have the governor come to explain the circumstances. Then the House will know what to do thereafter. So, Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity. If we can make progress on the other matters.
Yes, Honorable Yabwama.
Mr. Speaker, I don't think the House is against the coming of the governor to brief the House. But during the presentation of the business statement, the deputy leader alluded to the fact that the governor will be coming here to brief us on the banks, not some. And we all know that Dr. Dufour's Unibank is in court. there's been a recent decision of the High Court on one of the ideal finance. So there are a lot of matters before the court. So we have to be very careful as a House. Recently, your colleague, the First Deputy Speaker, ruled on a certain matter which is sub judice, that is before the court. So we are talking about precedent and issues with regards to the banking sector cleanup were matters that were debated on this floor. It started during Minister Setekwe's time when the World Bank and the IMF decided to look into the capital adequacy ratios of banks. It's on record, which led to the banking sector cleanup and the investment of over 20 billion Ghana cedis into restructuring some of the banks. Some of the banks have been consolidated. So, thirdly, Honorable Majority Leader, I believe, presented a petition in the last Parliament on some of the issues with regards to the banks, especially Unibank. And also, there was a Jogate committee that looked into some of the issues regarding the SDIs. So we have to be very careful in the invitation we extend to the governor, not to push him into making some statements here that can be contemptuous of the court. But I'm saying we should be very careful, Mr. Dafiamekwo. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Yes. Honorable Member for Tafo.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I've heard the perusal of the business statement, and I've had discussions with the chairman of the Youth and Sports Committee, which I'm a ranking of. We've agreed that our committee report should be done on Wednesday or Friday, and not Thursday. Wednesday or Friday. In fact, I'm in other item with the chairman of the committee, so I will implore the business committee to take note. Mr. Speaker, secondly, this business statement confirms my suspicion. My suspicion that today I see the Minister of Defense here. A question that I filed, which the Minister for Defense was supposed to have been brought before this House, to tell this House how or what Mr. Japa was doing in the house of the Honorable former Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta. This is the fifth time I'm raising such a question, the fifth time I'm raising this issue. And going through this business statement clearly shows that somebody is trying to shield the Minister of Defense from coming to this House to explain to us what Mr. Japa was doing in the house of the Honorable Ken Ofori-Atta. And I'm very surprised. And we are going to rise on the 28th of March. If on the 28th of March we are rising and the business statement clearly shows that nothing of the sort is going to happen, then clearly somebody is shielding the Minister of Defense in doing so. And I'm not happy about this. It's the third time I'm raising this question. The question had a problem. The clerk gave it to me. I made the corrections that I was supposed to make. And today, the question is still not admitted, or the question is still not before the business committee, and they are not scheduling it. As to why it is so, is unfortunate. Mr. Speaker, I need your intervention in this. Thank you so much.
Honorable Member, I think with regards to the first issue, I think this is just a guide regards to when to take a committee's report. It's just a guide. Honorable Sophie, are you listening to me? So I think as appropriate, we can amend it. This is just a guide as to how we are going to go about it. Yes, Honorable.
Speaker,
I'll come to you.
Speaker,
I'll come to you.
I'll
come to you.
My brother, Vincent Asefua, is raising an issue. First of all, he knows that if you file a question and it's been admitted, it goes through a process. First of all. Second, which is very important for me, is that because he saw the Honorable Defense, the Minister responsible for defense here, Japa that he speaks about, it's not a military officer. So if you file a question directed at the Defense Minister to come and respond to certain matters Mr. Japa is alleged to have engaged in, then you are directing the question to the wrong quarter, if it can be guided. because there's a minister responsible for national security. If he can be guided, if he puts his house in order and direct the question, then I'm sure that the appropriate minister can come and respond to it. But today, we are focusing on the matters contained, the business statement for next week. So we can deal with those matters, get it adopted, then we can make progress. I'm pleading with them.
Yeah, let me go to Professor Nyako first.
Mr. Speaker, on a point of order, Mr. Speaker, the majority chief whip, the posture he has adopted this morning is not good. You did not present the business statement, and you are not to respond to concern from members on the business statement. That is not your work. The deputy leader presented it, and if there are concerns, he is the one who's supposed to respond to them. But the majority whip cannot just do that. Rather than that, it's not.
Deputy minority whip, I think I'm with you. If we allow anybody to respond, we will not have an orderly arrangement. The leader of the house is here, or the deputy majority leader who presented the business statement should be allowed to respond to members. That is the way we go about things. The majority leader was not here, so once majority leader is here, he can also, because he signed the business statement. So let me, majority leader, I'll come to you, please. So give me some time. Let me listen to
Just a response to what you just said. Just a quick response, Mr. Speaker. No, it is proper to put matters into proper perspective. At the time that the issue happened, there was nothing like a minister for national security. At the time that issue happened, at the time that Mr. Jakpa led some military officers into the house of the former finance minister, there was nothing like a national security minister. So my question couldn't have been addressed to the national security minister. In any case, my question was to answer, or to get the Minister of Defense to answer what those military officers were doing in the house of the Honorable Kenuforiata. So please, let's put the matters into proper perspective. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, I think we'll give the opportunity to the majority leader to handle. Honorable member, Deputy Minister for Rules, I haven't called you. You see, he blackmailing you. You, leader, I'll come to you. Let him listen to Professor Nyako, then I'll come to you.
Mr. Speaker, thanks for indulging me. I've seen convention or practice in this house is that when questions are asked, we wait for the leader of the house to respond to them. So I will plead with Mr. Speaker and ask that we should allow them to respond to questions in groups as we used to do. If it is one-on-one, it's difficult. And thank you again, because the source are waiting for me now. I want to make some few observations so that I can attend to them. Number one, looking at our standing orders, Order 233, and I'm asking this question because of item 4. The Committee on Private Members' Bills and Motion is supposed to be chaired by a Deputy Speaker. I'm a ranking of that committee. But the proposed chairman is, and I've brought this to the attention of the first Deputy Speaker and one of the Deputy Clerks. I'm pleading with the Selection Committee or the leadership of the House to address that anomaly for the committee to start our meetings. Number 2, the spate of fire outbreaks in the country, especially in the Ashanti region, is becoming one too many. This morning, for example, there is fire outbreak in the Subi constituency at Adum. I want to play with you, and about 2 months ago, 2 fire outbreaks happened in a particular market at Kwadaso Wood Market. So I will plead with the business committee, if possible, to get the Minister for Local Government, Chief Tenants and Religious Affairs to appear before the House to, apprise us about how to deal with the frequent fire outbreaks in the country, especially in the Ashanti region. And my last issue has to do with, within a space of a month, 4 mobile money vendors within Greater Kumasi have been robbed And I understand one in Kwadaso was killed. He died in his room. And Kofom was also killed. The anxiety is increasing. So if the Minister for Interior could be brought to the House to address these issues. I'm saying this because we have only 1 week to adjourn. I can file a question. According to Order 93, I can file a question or make a statement of urgent public interest. But we have only a week to adjourn. So if our leader, Honorable Ayaruga, the respected one, could arrange for the Honorable Interior Minister to appear before us and let us know what is being done to ensure maximum protection and enhance security within Greater Kumasi, and also the local government minister addressing us on how to deal with the frequent fire outbreaks on the market. And I think that it will inure to our collective benefit. So, Honorable Defender, please, these are my concerns. And I know that our leader, Honorable Erica, my very good friend, will find favor with my request and ensure that they are brought before the House. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I think I'll give the floor to, I'll come back. Let me give the floor to the majority leader to respond to the earlier concerns, then we will take the second round. So, majority leader, may you take the podium. Are you standing there or you are coming here?
I will allow my deputy to continue with the responses.
Very well.
Unfortunately, I was a little indisposed and didn't attend the business committee meeting. You will see that it was signed for me by my deputy. So I wish to make some slight corrections. Item 6, briefing of the House. Mr. Speaker, I have reached out to the Minister for the Interior. He's unavailable on Tuesday to brief the House. So the Minister is unavailable on Tuesday to come and brief the House. And also that we cannot be bringing ministers to come and brief the House. The rules are clear. You want to ask the minister a question, you ask him a question, and he comes to answer. But to say you are bringing a minister to come and brief the House, under which standing orders are you bringing a minister to come and brief the House? The rules are clear on what is to be done, which is you ask the minister a question, he comes. If it's a statement a minister has to make, he comes and makes the statements. And also to correct the records, the committee clerk uses the word leading to the read. Read is not an appropriate expression of what happened. I think that law enforcement officers lawfully went there to conduct a search, and it is perfectly lawful. And so to use the word read is clearly wrong. So I want that deleted from the records, that this House describes what happened as read. You haven't even looked into it. You don't know the facts. You haven't been properly briefed, and you're already describing it as read. So the clerk should be careful what expressions are used. So that should be deleted from the records, and also to indicate that the briefing is not possible on Tuesday. I think that my deputy will respond to the questions that have been asked of the report.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on the issue of getting banks to come here, getting a governor to come here to answer questions on the bank, which my honorable friend referred to as unnecessary, was a discussion with your leader. In fact, it was your leader who proposed that, and we enhanced it. So it's not something that, just found itself here accidentally. So I will suggest you speak to your leader. And we are talking about some banks. The records are there.
we know that there were some banks that were affected. I mean, those in 2013 and those in 2018, where about 400 or so financial institutions where licenses were revoked, including 9 banks. And that's what we're talking about. This is in agreement with your leader who actually made that proposition. On the issue of Monday sitting, yes, by Standing Order 6, the provisions you have mentioned will be provided. The other issues doesn't look like we're sticking to the business statement. But the issue of Honorable Brother, your question, I mean, I think this is something we have talked about, I don't know, 3 Fridays now, and your questions are still not getting admitted, then perhaps they are lost. So you have to trace them. We have to trace where your questions are, or they need to be misdirected, you know, to the appropriate place. Because I have no idea. And I did suggest to you that we have to chase it up with Mr. Speaker, because questions are admitted by the Speaker. So if they've not found themselves its way here, then we have to trace it somewhere in the pipeline. The other issue I have here is to do with the Committee on Private Members' Bill. I think, Prof, you raised that issue. I think that has been corrected. And now the First Deputy Speaker is the chairperson of that committee. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, honorable members, I think,
Mr. Speaker,
I think I need to make these corrections with regards to Honorable Sefuya's question. Honorable members, ministers are scheduled to come here based on the minister's availability and the arrangement the table and the leadership will have with the ministers. And we don't want a minister to come here, answer one question, the next day he comes here. So we arrange in such a way that when the minister is billed to come to the House, he has as many questions to answer. So that is how we arrange. So most of the ministers have come, and when they come, you all witness that they have as many questions to answer. The Minister for Defense has not been scheduled to come. So I believe when he's scheduled to come, Honorable Asafua's question will be part of the questions that he will come to respond. I don't share with the view that the question might have lost. I don't think it is so. The question initially has some issue with it. I personally was not, so we'll send it back to the owner of the question to reframe it. So he did that, and I think it has been admitted. Any time the Minister for Defense is billed to come and respond to members, I believe Honorable Sefuya's one will be part. So let's take it that it's not just a question that a minister will come, answer one question, and go back, and we do in such a way that when he comes, he will answer the many questions that members have for the person. I hope this will rest the matter very well. Is it a different matter? Very well. Okay. No, let me listen to my brother first. My brother, you take the floor first before I come to you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I make reference to the attachment of the business statement. Item number 1, the National Media Commission. Mr. Speaker, I wish to make an application for a joint committee to look at the estimate and reports of the National Media Commission. I propose that the Committee on Information and Communications and that of the Committee on Independent Constitutional Bodies jointly look at the reports of this constitutional body. My proposal is based on the fact that there is a working collaboration between the National Media Commission and the National Communications Authority, where, for example, the National Communications Authority grants electronic media authorization, and the National Media Commission, on the other hand, regulates content of media. So on this basis, I think that it would be appropriate for the two committees to work together to ensure that the needful things are done. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well. Yes, Honorable Sefuya.
Mr. Speaker, respectfully, I listened to the majority leader, and I get the impression that this House cannot summon an independent body or a Minister of State to come to this House to brief this House on a matter that is of public interest. We were in this House when the Business Committee told us that they've summoned the Bank of Ghana governor to come here. And so if there is
Honorable Majority Leader, can you kindly listen to...
And so if there is a matter that is of public interest, like the fire outbreaks in Kumasi, or if like in the Ashanti region, because this is not the first time. We've had incidents of the Konongo fire outbreak. We've had the Kwadaso, about 2 of them, this morning in Edum. And because a question is not filed, the majority leader is telling this House that the minister cannot come here. The Business Committee itself, per our rules, can schedule the minister to come here because it's a matter of public interest. And I think that the minister himself, if he deems the fire outbreaks in this country, especially in the Ashanti region, as important, he himself can come to this House per the rules to brief the House as to what his ministry is doing about it. And so, majority leader, with the greatest of respect, it's a matter of public importance, it's a matter of public interest, and I think that the minister, Somutu, or even by the Business Committee, can come to the floor and brief the House on the fire outbreak that is happening in Kumasi. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Sefuya, I think you didn't construe what the minister, the leader, was saying very well. Okay.
Well, I think fire outbreak anywhere in this country is a matter of concern. Whether Ashanti region, Eastern region, Greater Accra, wherever there's fire outbreak and there's damage to property and threat to life, it's a matter of concern. But you see, we have rules. The rules tell us what to do. The Member of Parliament can come and raise it as a statement, a matter of urgent public importance. So you make a brief statement on the matter, saying that there is fire outbreak, the details, whatever damage has been caused. In fact, you will have a lot of MPs joining to comment on those statements. Just last week, there was fire outbreak in Greater Accra, and I heard Zaneto and Co. making statements regarding the fire outbreak. So you can do that. You can also summon the minister to come and answer questions about what he is doing to prevent such outbreaks, or what he is doing to minimize the effect of such outbreaks. But, you know, to say that when there's a fire outbreak, the Business Committee should go and sit and schedule a minister to come and brief the House, which standing orders are you even acting under? That's the question. Which standing order are you acting under? So please, I'm just encouraging us to take advantage of the rules. You can write a statement, consult the Speaker. Today the Speaker will admit and allow you to make your statement. So don't make it look like there is fire outbreak in Ashanti region and I'm saying that the minister should not come and answer. No, I'm saying that you can make a statement about the fire outbreak here. You can also ask the minister a question about the fire outbreak, and those two mechanisms will secure you what you are seeking to achieve. Let's just keep to our rules.
Thank you very much. Lastly, I'll give it to you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, just on the basis that the leader of the House was speaking to my colleague, when the deputy leader was answering the question with regards to the governor visit on the collapsed banks, I asked two critical questions. You said some of the banks, and my concern was that majority of the banks have cases in court, and we should not seem, your leader, Roxanne, will bully you with his law but that is his senior at the bar. The majority leader is your senior, Roxanne. So I'm speaking to the majority leader. That if we get the names of these banks, then we'll be able to know which one is before a court of competent jurisdiction or not. And secondly, majority leader, on what basis is the governor coming here? Is it that a statement was made and then there should be a reference? Is it a question that was filed? Or on what basis is he coming or a question for him to come and brief us on that? So I think that we need to actually look at it critically. I listened to him when he said my leader was the one who also proposed that. But my position here is that let's get the names of the banks and financial institutions so that we will not be attempting to listen to the governor on matters that are before the court. My colleague Patrick Boama said he's aware that some of the cases are before court. And last week, Ideal Finance, we heard about a high court ruling, which is also part of the financial institutions that got their licenses revoked. So I think this one, we have to look at a leader, get the names, let's see the names, and then if we are okay with the names, he can come here and brief us. We don't have a problem with that. But definitely it is not good, and it will be good for Parliament for us to be attempting to look at issues that are before the court. And I think the first Deputy Speaker made a ruling on that. Matters before the court, we should not attempt to litigate it before in the chamber. Thank you.
Thank you, honorable members. Let me hear you.
Mr. Speaker, fair enough, point taken. But as I said, this was initiated by your leader, by the minority leader. Today. So I think the majority leader will engage the minority leader to address these issues. He didn't give us a list of the institutions that he was referring to. So if the two leaders meet, they can engage and come up with the list on both sides of the banks and financial institutions that he is talking about, and then we can enhance it with the ones we are also talking about. So that's where I will leave it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, honorable members. The business statement as presented.
Today is Friday, Mr. Speaker. Yeah, so I can't contribute to the business statement. I've read the business statement, Mr. Rip. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. I'm very grateful. Mr. Speaker, I came in to have a view of the business statement for next week, and I must commend leadership, the business committee, for the work done. But importantly, Mr. Speaker, over the past weeks, I think a week or so, we had the X account of the President of the Republic hacked. And this became a very big issue for us as a country, for the account of the President of the Republic to be hacked. And then we have the instances whereby those who hacked into the X account of the President were actually trading in the name of the President of cryptocurrency business. And up till today, we've not had much clarity in terms of how it happened, why the President's account had to be hacked, what is the state of our cyber security as a country. Beside the President, we have so many institutions, we have so many individuals whose accounts are being hacked. And I expected the business committee to see this as a matter of urgency and add it to the business statement of the House.
Honorable.
Mr. Speaker, please, Mr. Speaker. When the former governor's house was raided, they found the need to include it. And I'm saying that the account of the President, the #1 gentleman of this land, if it has been hacked and we have not gotten any direction from this House to bring the Minister for Communication to come and speak to us on it and remedies to take this out, I think it is very important for the business committee.
Well, honorable member, I think you can file urgent question and it will be responded to. Thank you, honorable members. The business statement for the ensuing 11th week as presented to us and have
Speaker.
arbitrary.
Please, Mr. Speaker, I made an.
I haven't given you the floor. The business statement is hereby adopted.
Mr. Speaker.
Yes, leadership. Any indication?
Speaker, that is so. Speaker, if we may, with your leave, proceed with item number 7, the other paper statements.
Very well. Minority leadership.
And proceed with the debates. Continuation with the debates. We are agreed.
Mr. Speaker, we don't have any difficulty, except that the majority chief whip must make sure that he bring his members in. So as we debate, because based on the business statement, after today, Monday, the leaders are concluding. So he need to make sure that the empty seats, out of his 187, we have only 40. So he should make sure that his members are here. Then we can continue. But we don't have a difficulty. We should now count the defense minister as part of your members. Is the defense minister here to debate? Should we include him? So get your members and then we can conclude on the debate.
Thank you very much.
Speaker, just for the records, the budget committee is meeting as we speak. Committee on Assurance is meeting as we speak. Gender to speak. Constitutional and Legal Affairs is meeting as we speak. Mr. Speaker, a lot of about 13 committees are meeting as we speak. So the House is not depleted because members are not within the presence of Parliament. They are still engaged in the business of the House. Speaker, my attention has just been drawn by the chairman for the Appointments Committee, the Honorable First Deputy Speaker, that their report is ready. So if I may pray that we go back and have that laid before we proceed with the continuation with the debate.
So it means we have to take the report first.
Exactly, yes. No, we'll lay it.
Oh, okay.
We'll
Let's see.
the debate up to a
Please, that
stage.
report is for the good of all of us.
Of course. Speaker, I agree. Yes.
Yes.
So, Mr. Speaker, the deputy leader, who is also the deputy ranking on the appointment committee, is still even editing the report here. Because if it is laying on, but don't say the report is ready. The report is already. The report is already.
Speaker, please. Speaker, my brother. Oh, please. Speaker, I indicated earlier this morning that it appears that my brother this morning. Speaker, the report has been prepared, it's been properly signed by the chairman. It's ready for laying. If he sees the honorable deputy minority leader making comments on the report, it's for purposes of comments. She's not editing the report, so same can be corrected. It is in preparation for her debate on the comments on the report when it's taken. So it has nothing to do with the content, Mr. Speaker. So with your leave, we may proceed to allow the Honorable Chairman to lay it. Hey, Honorable Habib.
Yes.
A couple of months ago, you were here.
Honorable Chairman of the Appointment Committee, you may do so.
Fourteenth report of the Appointment Committee on His Excellency the President's nomination for appointment as Administrator of District Assembly's Common Fund.
Honourable members, the report has been duly presented. I direct that the report be distributed to honourable members. Yes, so we will get back to item 7, which is, do you call it commentary or debate? The appropriate word is commentary. To continue the commentary of the budget statement and economic policy of government for the year ending 31st December 2025. So I have the list, and I'll be calling them one after the other. But before I do so, let me again indulge the House. Another set of school. Incidentally, that is another school of the Deputy Speaker, who have come all the way from Obuasi to visit the chamber, to visit members. They are Christ the King Catholic Secondary School. This is Owusu Mensah, who is a teacher, and the school is located at Obuasi District.
Mr. Speaker,
I've noted your concern.
In all his submission, he's been reading to us.
No, I've noted your concern.
And I plead,
it's just making
my
reference.
honorable defense minister.
It's your friend. Honorable Minister, please go on.
To actually debate.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I guess my posture also maybe must have misled the honorable member. To go to something that will excite the honorable member, we are also determined to complete the Afari Military Hospital this year and operationalize it. In addition, the Ghana Air Force lacks critical air assets. And as a result of this, you even have some pilots who have in the past left the service very, very young. We are also determined to begin discussions with the Ghana Air Force to see how best we can use cost-effective means to provide the Ghana Air Force with air assets. Mr. Speaker, last but not least, is to enhance the capacity of the men and women in uniform. And this includes supporting the National College of Defense Studies, the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center, GAFC, so that our men and women in uniform will have the needed information, will be exposed to the most current technologies, including simulators that can help them defend our territory and guard us against violent extremism, possible terrorism, illegal mining, illegal logging, fight against people who may want to disturb the peace of areas where we are having chieftaincy disputes. Because His Excellency the President believes that even where there is chieftaincy dispute, people can still live in peace, whilst traditional means are used to address such disputes. Mr. Speaker, I wish to express my appreciation and thanks to you for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me turn to Honorable Patrick Yabuama. Patrick, I've mentioned your name, so take the floor.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to make some comments on the budget statement presented by the Minister of Finance on the 11th of March this year. Mr. Speaker, I'll begin by pointing out some policy inconsistencies in the presentation made by the Minister on the said date. Mr. Speaker, if I refer you to paragraph 157 at page 32 of the budget statement, and I read with your permission, Mr. Speaker, S&P Global Ratings on the 14th of October 2024 affirmed Ghana's local currency issuer ratings at CC+, with stable outlook and foreign currency issuer ratings, selective debt, and what have you. Mr. Speaker, if you read paragraph 757 of the concluding part of the minister's statement, he said, and I quote, "The Speaker, the economy, as I've just presented, does not reflect an economy that has turned a corner. It reflects an economy in severe distress, burdened by debt repayment, harms, mismanagement, and a lack of accountability, Mr. Speaker." Mr. Speaker, in the same breath, the minister almost got choked on the floor when he announced the growth rate of the economy to be 5.7% during the budget presentation. Mr. Speaker, may I refer you to Article 35(7) of the Constitution, that as far as practicable, a government shall continue and execute projects and programs commenced by the previous governments. Mr. Speaker, what did we hear from the minister on that said date? He alluded to paragraph 92 on page 17 and gave us a list on table 16, a list of very important projects that he claims is going to take him 12 years to complete. The question that I want to ask the NDC administration is that, how will the people in the Upper East, the Bogatanga-Pomankuma Road, feel when the Minister of Finance comes to the floor to say that it's going to take him another 12 years to complete that road? How will the people in the Western region feel when the Minister tells them that it's going to take him 12 years to complete the PTC interchange? How will the people from Circle to Techiman feel when the Minister says it's going to take him 12 years to complete the Accra-Kumasi dualization program and what have you? Mr. Speaker, you have a minister allocating a whopping sum of 279 United States dollars to an entity that is non-existent, and I'm referring to the Gold Board. If you read the Public Financial Management Act, under Section 32C, it says that an entity that does not have the capacity to pay for the expenditure from the approved estimates as appropriated by Parliament for that financial year. Is the reason why the minister is in a rush to bring before us the said Gold Board, which a bill has been laid. But smart as he was, he made some provisions under what we call the other government services. And a whooping 1 billion Ghana cedis has been allocated for compensation. So doing the estimates, we would want to know the beneficiaries of that 1.1 billion Ghana cedis that he's made allocation for, because all those entities under other government services have been allocated or taken care of by the compensation budget. Mr. Speaker, we cannot, as a House, overlook the very importance of our diplomatic relations within the sub-region. As we speak, the President has visited Togo, Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, and La Côte d'Ivoire. We commend the President for taking up those steps by visiting our neighbors. But the policy inconsistency is whether or not the government, having visited countries under military rule, who are being pushed by the AU and the ECOWAS to return to democratic rule, is not sending a bad signal across the world. We want some consistency in our foreign relations because, Mr. Speaker, our Constitution enjoins the President under Article 40 and 75 to ensure that good neighborliness is adhered to and that the President respects democratic tenets across the sub-region. Mr. Speaker, thirdly, we are told that the government has started what they term a labor export program, which I don't understand. Every serious economy would want to retain their best hands within their country. There's nowhere in the world, civilized world, where they will export serious hands into other jurisdictions because the returns are not, cannot be measured in terms of those who stay within the country to work. So what we expect government to do is to heed to their campaign promise of creating jobs. The president, during the NDC manifesto launch, unveiled a plan to create 1.7 million jobs, Mr. Speaker. How is the president going to create that 1.7 million jobs, or those 1.7 million jobs? In the budget, he said under the Jumara project, he was going to create 10,000 jobs. Mr. Speaker, if you take your calculator and divide 276 constituencies with 10,000 jobs over 4 years, how many jobs is he going to create under that program? 1.5 billion has been allocated to the agricultural sector. Is it a sum or an amount that is needed to be able to create that great agricultural transformation that the president is talking about, Mr. Speaker? So, job creation was just a gimmick to woo the youth of this country into voting for the NDC. And we believe that the president and his program, which he delivered on the floor of Parliament through his minister in terms of job creation, I believe will not be achieved. Mr. Speaker, if you read the conclusion part of the minister's presentation, I went ahead to look at the definition of delivered and delivery. He listed a lot of programs and got thumbs up from the majority that, oh, betting tax, I've delivered. Abolition of e-levy, delivered. That, delivered. But here is the same minister who is meeting with the finance committee to look at those revenue bills. So have those policies been delivered or is now in the process of delivering? Has the government stopped the collection of taxes on e-levy as we speak? Has the government stopped the collection of the emission tax as he claims to have delivered? So what has he delivered, Mr. Speaker? So those are matters that this House will take steps to abolish through legislation. So if the minister comes to tell us he has delivered, what has he delivered? Delivered a promise. My goodness. Mr. Speaker, this is a house of record. The minister has not delivered on those programs that he alluded to on page 123 of the budget. And we call on him to withdraw those remarks. Mr. Speaker, as we speak today, none of those taxes have been abolished. He is still collecting them. And we want him to be honest with the good people of this country. When he presents the mid-year review, Mr. Speaker, budget, we will check the amount of money he has collected between January and the time of the implementation of this budget, and where he placed those funds. We'll be looking at that. We'll be looking at that, Mr. Speaker, because he cannot come here and throw dust into the eyes of the good people of this country. On that note, I thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for your...
Thank you very much. Honorable members, the two gentlemen who have spoken spoke within their time. Now, I think you can read the time from the system. So let me invite Honorable Samsahi. Samsahi, you are Minister, Deputy Minister. You have, is it 15 minutes?
20 minutes.
What was the arrangement, please?
20 minutes, eh?
Deputy ministers are
20 minutes.
10.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Oh, hold on. Let me be clear with it. 50 ministers have 10 minutes or 15 minutes? That's what I want to know.
Mr. Speaker, I think 10 minutes. Mr. Speaker, we agreed on 10 minutes.
10 minutes?
Yes.
15
for ministers and deputies, 10 minutes.
No,
thank you.
Minister 15 minutes and deputy 10 minutes.
Yes.
Very well. So, Honorable Samson, you have 10 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
So now, 10 minutes, you can read it from your set as to how it's utilizing this time.
Mr. Speaker, you have already taken 1 minute of my time. Thank you for the opportunity to contribute to the statement, to the budget statement and economic policy of government for the year ending 31st December 2025. Mr. Speaker, I can say that this is the first time in the history of Ghana that a government has presented a budget which is friendly to all sectors of the economy. Mr. Speaker, it is strange and I'm surprised that all of us here will believe in God, but all of you in the minority haven't listened to the budget, haven't read the budget. None of you have spoken, have seen any positive thing in the budget. All that you have sought to do, all of you, all that you have sought to do is to criticize the budget even when we know that there are good programs, activities that will benefit your constituents. One, Mr. Speaker, 499.9 million Ghana cedis has been allocated for the non-academic free policy for all first-year students. Bro, I'm telling you, tell me whether this is a good policy or bad policy. Tell me. What is your response? Students from your constituency, from next year, September, they will not pay academic visa fees. Is it a good policy or bad policy? Bro, I'm tell your constituents. Let's be a little objective and fair to the budget. Don't criticize for criticizing sake. Mr. Speaker, 292.4 million to commence the distribution of free sanitary pads. Mr. Speaker, how can any of you say that this is a bad policy? Haven't you seen this important program? Haven't you seen this laudable program which your constituent, female students at primary school to JSS are going to benefit? Is it good or bad? Be patriotic. Be patriotic. Mr. Speaker, another important program which I expect my colleagues to welcome it is the fact that 242.5 million has been allocated to support victims of the Akosombo Dam spillage. What else do you want? Minority, what else do you want? This is the time Nana Addo told Ghanaians that if he's looking at the voting pattern of the people in Akosombo, he wouldn't have visited them. He didn't do anything about it. A new government comes in and he has allocated so much to alleviate their suffering. You don't see this to be a positive development. Who are you people? What are you people at all? What are people are you?
Honorable Samson. Honorable Samson.
Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Samson.
Another important thing.
Honorable Samson. Please just withdraw that. Who are you? Withdraw
it's withdrawn, Mr. Speaker. But are you not surprised? But are you not surprised that they haven't seen anything positive about this budget. With all these that I'm mentioning, Mr. Speaker, it is important to note again that none of us here will use 1 cedi 50 pesos to feed our children to go to school per day. You, how much do you use to feed your child in school? You use 1 cedi 50 pesos. A government has come and has increased it to 2 cedis. We don't see anything positive development about this. You spent 1 cedi 50 pesos. 2 cedis and 1 cedi 50 pesos. Which one is better? Which is better? Mr. Speaker, the minority, these my friends, they campaigned and misinformed Ghanaians that if they voted for NDC, we will cancel allowances to nursing training students, allowances to teacher training students. Mr. Speaker, this budget has allocated 480 million Ghana cedis for nursing training allowance. Mr. Speaker, what else do you want? What else do you want? So, Mr. Speaker, I think that the minority has taken a decision that they will never see any good thing about whatever President Mahama government do to support Ghanaians. Mr. Speaker, there is a fundamental problem with our economy. Structural problems. Now we always complain that the cedi always depreciates against the dollar and then the pounds. Why won't the cedi depreciate when we are not producing anything? Virtually, we import everything into this country. You come into government, you couldn't do anything about production. You couldn't do anything about production. Under the guise of one DC, one factory, you build processing factories. The factories have become white elephants. We don't have raw materials, no raw materials to feed these industries. No raw materials to feed these industries. President Mahama is encouraging production, is encouraging export to ensure that we create jobs for Ghanaians youth and that we create wealth for Ghanaians. Mr. Speaker, and for that matter, this government is going to work to industrialize Ghana. This government is going to introduce agro-industrial zones so that looking at a particular area, if you go to Dodowa, for instance, they grow a lot of mangoes. President Mahama is asking us under agro-business to go and then construct a mini factory so that after production of the mango, there will be a factory to process the mango into mango juice, which Guama you always drink before you come to Parliament.